Welcome to my channel, Daily Improvement. My name is Shondalyn Richardson. This video tutorial was created for my church family as we are using Zoom for our church services, but it can also help you if you're a student or you plan to participate in another type of Zoom meeting. And the goal of this tutorial is to help people become familiar with the participant controls that are available. So first of all, you will receive an invitation from the host, co-host, or friend, and you can receive that invitation maybe through your text or in your email, and it will look like this screen right here that you see. Here's the information that's most important. You can sign in using your meeting ID and password that is given to you, or you can just simply click on the link and it will take you directly into the download for Zoom. And so again, these are the pieces of information that's most important. And for those who may not have access to internet or what have you, you still could dial in and listen with one of the numbers that may be given. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on the link, and you should see something like this. And so it's asking me to open Zoom meetings. And if it doesn't do anything, you will need to click the download and run Zoom. And at that point, it'll either download, depending on what browser you're on, it may download in the bottom left and you'll have to go where that is and click it. Or it may be downloaded at the top right. You may see a down arrow or something and you click on that to get it to open up. So we're going to click this Open Zoom Meetings button and see what happens. Okay, so here's the example. Well, it's going ahead and opening up for us now. Great. So what I want to talk to you about on this screen is that as you see, this check mark here says always show video preview when I'm joining a video meeting. I like to keep that checked because it just allows you to kind of see how you're presenting yourself before you actually are seen by the participants in the meeting. So here you're either choosing to join with the video on or without the video. So this is not a permanent decision. This is just how you want to come on. So just for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to join without video. Now, here is the platform that you will see at this point. Now, the very first thing you want to do is look in the bottom left of your screen and make sure that you see this red line through the microphone. And that simply means that no one can hear you or your surroundings at this point. And so if you're not supposed to be speaking, that is what you want to see on your screen so that it will be as quiet as possible for the meeting so that everybody can hear and enjoy whatever is going on without disruption. So this is the participant view that I want to share with you. Right now, I want to also show you that you've got settings over here with this little caret beside your microphone. If you're having trouble with it, you may not have the right microphone selected. Most of the time you won't have a lot of choices with that, but just in case, you may have to go in here if you're having trouble with your sound. The other thing that you want to know about mute is let your family members know if you're planning on talking during a Zoom meeting, because they need to be aware of that so that they don't come in and talk at an inappropriate time or disturb your meeting that you're having. They need to be aware that you are doing something which is pretty much live and everybody can hear the background talking or what have you around you. So you want it to be quiet in that area. Let them know what you're doing. And also make sure you're in a quiet space, like make sure your television is off and that kind of thing. Those are the type things that if you unmute yourself, it's very distracting. Now the next thing I want to show you is the start video icon. And again, you want that to be off if you don't want to be seen. You want the line through it. But if you do want to be seen, all you do is click it and it will turn on. So like I said, it was not a permanent decision when you started and said you did not want your video on. You can turn it on and off at will. So if you have something you need to take care of right quick, you can do that. Now, I want to go ahead and address if you don't want to have your video on. So you can actually go up here and rename, because typically if I were to log on with my husband or my husband and son, I would have the Richardsons and it would show that way. Or if I'm on individually, I would change it, and it's just this simple. You could do it right away. And if you don't do this, what will happen is your screen, if you don't have your video playing, it will show something like your phone number, or it'll show the name of your tablet, or it'll say iPhone or something like that. So you're able to actually rename it to what it is that you want it to say. The other key about your video, once again, just like when we talked about the mute button, if you have your video on, you need to make sure that before you start that meeting, the members in your family know that you have your video on, because sometimes they may not be aware and it may not be an appropriate thing when they come in the room. They may not be dressed like they want to be dressed or what have you if they're being filmed. So again, common courtesy with this would be just let people know so that they'll not disturb you, or they'll stay out of the video screen because they know that you're doing that. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the participants icon. It's showing you like how many people are in the room, and if you look over on the side here, you can see everyone that's in the room, whether they're muted or unmuted, and whether their video is on or off. You are able to control whether you unmute yourself. You have access to that button, as well as renaming yourself here. So as you see, there are two places where you can rename yourself. The other thing that you may have on your screen right here, it says invite, and that gives you the option of just clicking a button and it will save the link, or it will save the invitation if you want to go and email the invitation to another friend. If you want to invite them to the service you're on or what have you, you won't have to like know what the code and all that stuff is. You could just click this, and I'll demonstrate here. If you click that, you'll see it says invitation has been copied to clipboard. All you have to do is go to your email, paste, and then just paste it in there and send it to your friend. And that's all that is for, if you're able to use that feature. The other thing I want to point out to you is the chat icon. If you click the chat icon, here's where you can type. The key here is where you see two, like it says everyone. So when you type something and it says everyone, that's who it's going to go to. Everyone can see what you have typed. Now, if you want to send a message directly to the host or the co-host or another participant, you'll see who you have access to message in this box here. Many times a co-host or a host does not have it set up to speak to other participants privately, but you can usually speak to the host, and you'll see the word privately in red to let you know who it is that you're going to send this message to. And when you send that message, that will only go to that person. But when you're ready to address the whole room again, you will have to go back and change that to everyone once again. The next thing we need to talk about is the reactions icon, which is right here. And that is when you're enjoying something, you can actually give a silent reaction by clicking the clap or the thumbs up icon, and it will just show up in your little video space briefly, and people will know that you are giving a clap for whatever it is that you have just enjoyed. The other thing I want to point out is share screen. That is for a host or co-host, and the only way you could do this is if you had to, you have to get permission from the host. And so that will pretty much be disabled unless you have permission to share something. Same thing with recording. You're only able to do that with permission from the host. The next thing I want to share with you is the way that you're viewing things. So right now we have this particular view where the participants and the chat and all that is showing up over here. And if I click on chat, that disappeared. You can just basically toggle that how you would like. Same thing with the participants. You can move that out of the way. And this button right here enters full screen. Okay, if you'd like to see that, and then you can exit full screen. Now, what I want to share with you here is that when you go to gallery view, you're able to see, you know, all the people that's in the room. You'll sometimes have an arrow to let you go over, but you'll know how many people are in the room by the number, by this icon. And then you could just basically click whether you want to just see the speaker or you want to see everybody. So this is a little confusing because even though you're reading gallery view, you're not seeing the gallery view, you're seeing the opposite. You're seeing the speaker talking. So it's basically a button to tell you if you want to see the gallery view, the different boxes like that, click this button and then it'll take you there. So now the last thing that I want to share with you is how to leave. When you're ready to leave, you're going to simply go over here to the red leave button and you'll click that. And you'll go ahead and click leave meeting. Now, if you'd like to just play around with these features in an empty quote unquote room, you can just type in to your browser zoom.us/test. And you will have a little place where you can just play. It's not a real meeting. It's simply just a little test room. You click join and it'll open up and you will be able to experiment and play around with some of these features. Again, we'll go through the process that we just did and it'll go back and ask you about all of these choices that we talked about, and it gives you a room, but no one's in there but you. But you can still play around with the features, the basic features here. So as you can see here in the bottom left, my microphone is on, which means I would be heard by people in the room, and if I don't want them to hear me, I can click it off. So again, that's just a place where you can play around. You will be limited, like I said, with some things, but we just want to make sure that you have a pleasant experience on Zoom and you can be heard and seen when you intend to be heard and seen. Do make use of this little practice space. Well, that's it. Now, if this video was helpful to you, please leave a comment below and let me know on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how confident you are about using Zoom now. Thank you so much for watching.